lot of like the training schedule stuff we've already talked about before, right? So unless you have any questions or anything specifically you want to look at, you're good to go. So I can look through your form here, but you tell me, what do you want to go over?
Well, I wanna. Well, for example, I send you three codes.
Yeah.
So the Junkertown game was a game that I felt really good about. I thought I played really well, or at least at the moment felt good. But then Ilios was the complete opposite. I was pretty lost that game.
Okay.
So I think it could be interesting to have like the contrast. And then I just send you the Coliseo one, to sort of answer like specifically what to go over. I selected this one because I go against a Reinhardt, and it's a difficult matchup for me to deal with. It's like I don't know, it feels like I need to match him until I don't, but I don't quite get the balance against him. He just kind of gets on my backline and kills everybody.
Okay.
Um,
Talk
so,
Roger or Reinhardt. I'm sorry, I misheard.
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, and just sort of that. I mean, I play Diva in this game, so not the best character for that matchup either. But um,
Sure. Okay. Sounds good. Let's just swiftly go through the form, and then if there's anything new, we hope to get the session. 30 more minutes of sleep. Nice.
um,
Good for you. How's that been going?
that's been going well.
Okay. Good.
I mean, 30 minutes more.
Sure. We'll take it. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? Still getting better at keeping track of everyone. Mechanics, even though I think I've gotten much better. On Winston, I struggle a lot versus certain matchups and getting good dives. Okay. Hero pool and ranked is still pretty big. But how has that been going? Diva wins the Sigma Ram.
Yeah, that has been going well. I've been trying to play Sigma a little bit more.
Okay. Why is that?
I just have a lot of fun playing them.
Yeah, I hear you.
I played them a lot in Overwatch 1, but I sort of stopped in Overwatch 2. So I think it's been a lot of fun going back to that. And obviously, I still play them up planning for long sidelines like Junkertown, like Havana, and all that. Um, so he's more of a pocket pick, I guess, in that sense.
Sure. All right, sounds good. What's your trading schedule like? How's it going nowadays?
Um, so the way it's gone, I sort of hold on.
Sure.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Well, my training, quote unquote, is just that before I queue to rank, I do the warm up with this code that you send me in Havana,
Uh
where like there's like bots. So I just beat the crap out of them. I try to land like my quote unquote one shot combo in Diva or the one shot combo in Sigma.
huh.
I warm up for like 15 minutes maybe or something.
Okay.
Basically until I get tired, and then I just do comp until I either get tired or start tilting or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Sounds good.
that's my stopping point, I
All right.
guess.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Have you been able? Do you take short breaks between games whenever you can?
Yeah, I try to, even if it's just like stretching a little bit or
Sure.
something.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Something to just kind of like help proactively maybe prevent some of the tilting or maybe allow you to go just a little bit further.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot here. Is there anything that you have any questions or anything you want to go over from the forum, or you just want to hop right into gameplay?
No, I think I'm good to go. I
Okay.
actually, sorry, I probably should have put more insightful things on the
Well, I mean,
on the
it's
form.
round two,
But
right? So like,
yeah.
it's more about like tune-ups and any questions that you had, and if you don't have anything, then we can just go into gameplay. I think your form is fine. There's no reason to refill it out as if it's the first time again.
I
Okay.
suppose one more little thing. Could we
Sure.
go over? I've been playing also DPS a little bit, just on the side, nothing
Uh-huh.
too crazy. But if we have the time, could we go over a little bit of Tracer at the
Sure.
end? Just
Sure.
a
It's
little
up
bit.
to you. Well, you just tell me where your priorities lie. What codes are a priority for you? How much gameplay is a priority for you, and we'll make it work. What do you want to
Okay.
start with?
I'd say we start in Junkertown, so you can take a look at my Sigma.
Okay.
Um, and then we could see the contrast in Ilios. And
Well, it's a tougher map too, you know.
yeah,
If you're playing, I mean, Ruins is not bad, a little bit more straightforward, but okay. Let's take a look. So, what are your priorities with Sigma? Because we didn't obviously talk about Sigma at all when we were playing.
the way I sort of played Sigma in Overwatch 1 was like Ashe with 400 HP. I just sit in funny off angle and just pump as much damage until I get my ult.
Right.
Um,
Right.
in Overwatch 2, I mean, you still did this in Overwatch 1, obviously, but I try to put more emphasis on like trying to mark their DPS a lot
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I basically don't care at all about their tank. I just try to position myself long, mid-range to their DPS until they inevitably move, and
Yeah.
if they don't, I'll just get close to them and beat the crap out of them, I guess.
Right. You're gonna get the seminar for it. Okay. So basically, this is what you have to worry about with Sigma. So you said mid to long range tank, right? It's very accurate. But even for like, I guess for heroes as a whole in Overwatch, your range is a little bit limited. So you're the longest range tank, but you're still relatively short range when it comes to like DPS as a whole, right? Your entire mentality with Sigma needs to be, what DPS can I control? What supports can I control? Where is my biggest output of pressure? So if I'm here and there's like, let's say this is a Widowmaker, Zenyatta, Reinhardt, who am I shooting?
The Widowmaker.
Right, why?
She's the most fragile character.
Yes.
And she also is the biggest threat to my
Right,
team.
exactly. Then what?
You just mark her. Even if
Okay,
I don't kill her,
so let's say I kill her, so who's next on the list? We got Zen and Ryan.
Zenyatta.
Why? Same logic, right?
Yeah.
Biggest threat compared to Reinhardt, at least at that distance, and then also the most fragile. So even if you don't hit, many of your shots, let's say you're missing, even this pressure alone is enough to force it to reposition, or maybe any follow-up from your team to finish the kill. That's what you have to be thinking about, right? Now, what about Reinhardt? Would you ever shoot a Reinhardt?
I think you do, but it's tricky because like I feel like I do think it's important to like sort of make sure that he doesn't have resources when the time has come. But I'm not sure how to manage that balance. I'm not sure.
It's tricky. Now watch this right here. What if this is Reinhardt, that's Zenyatta, that's Widow in the back there? Do you see how this all of a sudden becomes a lot more complicated as to who to shoot, right? Because look at this Reinhardt, how close he is, how aggressive he is, and then look at how far away they are. Now this is where Sigma is a little rough, where you might think, hey, I'm just going to shoot Reinhardt in front of me, but that might not be the biggest return on your investment, right? You might need to understand this Reinhardt is beating the crap out of me with his hammer, but I still have to shoot the follow-up because I don't do enough damage to compensate for this Zenyatta and Widowmaker pumping me in the face. That's even more lethal. Or the other thing that Sigma has that a lot of other tanks don't have is the ability to do two things at once, right?
Right.
Shoot one thing, disrupt pressure one thing, shield off the other to prevent that from getting value. Do you see that? That's actually a really, really important skill. So if you see something that I can't reach, I can't shoot, I don't want to shoot, I don't have the time to shoot, shield off their influence so that they're not shooting you and your team, and then shoot something else. You don't always do that, but that's something that you need to kind of consider. So it's all about like, what's the highest return on investment for my focus? Then the other thing, so let's go to the list of your cooldowns. So shift, what are you thinking about with shift? What is shift's value? There's two things that you do with shift. What are they?
I think of it of like a second shield.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, I think the main is like if I don't have my shield currently, it's like sort of my eject button so I can go to the nearest cover.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You can also use it. The second use, a little more niche, is to get a massive HP advantage before the fight even starts. But you only do that when you know you're not going to need it and you see a lot of spam damage coming in. So, because if I can eat a lot of damage, then that's going to give me 300, 400, whatever extra HP. Okay. What about your rock?
I mean, there's a one-shot combo.
There was a one-shot combo as of today. That's gone. Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah. So,
I'm assuming that the melee combo still works though.
It should. Yeah, it should. But you're gonna use that as a part of a combo with your primary fire. So who do you rock? When do you rock? Why do you rock?
I mean, squishes is the easy answer. I usually try to get closer when I use my rock. I don't just Jeet it a lot of the time. Although I do think that I tend to save rock maybe a little bit too much. So it's like if like the fight just started, I would go for like sort of like a set nade in Ana. You just go for like a rock.
Well, it's a 9-second cooldown, right? So like if you use it before the fight starts, theoretically I should have it back. But like you said, I don't want to use it like right before a fight starts, because then I'm going to wish I had it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people would disagree with you in terms of rocking squishies. They would say, no, you should be rocking tanks. What do you think?
It depends. Like, if the Reinhardt is on my face and like I literally can't do anything about it, like I rock him to give myself some space, I guess.
Right. It's kind of like this here, right? Where we had this guy is super easy to hit, but not as valuable to rock in terms of he's not likely to die, you know? Whereas these guys back here, harder to hit, but a rock matters a lot. Now, I will say that today's change changes that a little bit, because the fact that the stun duration increased a little bit does make rocking a tank a little bit more valuable, right? Because the CC matters more. They'll actually burn more HP. But you have to, again, just like your primary fire, find that balance of risk to reward, right? If I rock a tank, is that tank likely going to get cooldowns forced, die, and so on? Versus if I rock a squishy, is that squishy going to die because they get rocked? You know, today, it's a little bit trickier, because normally I'd say, you know, oh, you know, definitely squishies, it's fine. But now the CC duration is increased, and you've lost your one-shot combo in squishies, at least without the melee. I don't know. It's tricky. Okay, last cooldown for shields. What's the deal with shield?
Oh, shield is everything. Like, that's how you push enemies. That's how you hold corners. That's how you block sidelines to the enemy DPS. I essentially one thing I gotta say about shield though is that I try to it never works. Like it never breaks.
It never breaks. Yes.
Yeah, I never.
Why?
Just put it because like then you're waiting 4 seconds to get it back, and even then it would just have like, I don't know, 300 HP.
It takes too long to recharge if it breaks.
Yeah.
Essentially what you were saying with shield is like all about like moving. When you're out in the open, you need to be shielding. You should never be out in the open to Sigma, almost ever. So use your shield when you are briefly, like if I'm going from here to here, I'm gonna be out in the open. So I'm like, shield, you know, and then I'm good, right? Or if I'm pushing, I might be out in the open briefly, and I'm gonna use my shield interchangeably. The big thing with shield is like, use it to prevent yourself from getting critical. Use it to block crucial cooldowns. Don't use it to just block damage. If I'm 400, I guess 400 HP in the practice range, but if I'm close to full HP, unless it's a really important cooldown like a sleep dart or a nade that I need to be blocking, I don't need to be shielding. I'm more than willing to take some damage first and then shield, allow my supports to heal me back up again, then drop my shield and take my damage again, kind of cycling my shield and my personal HP back and forth. And the only thing that complicates that is, of course, not all damage is alike. A Widow Shot, on a nade, sleep darts, even a Sigma Rock and so on, more important to block, right? More important to block those. So it's like all about trying to reactively balance your shield. Okay, last thing here. Your ultimate.
I find that Flux is nowhere near as good as in Overwatch 1, because like people are like more spread out in Overwatch 2. But I mean, it's still like really good. Like I honestly, and this is a habit that I had in Overwatch 1, where like I honestly don't wait to use it a lot of the time. I get it. I'll get another one like really quickly, because this guy deals a lot of damage.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I just sent it.
Yeah, just pick a target, generally something immobile, use it, shoot them in the air, get the combo. I'm terrible with shooting them in the air. That's something that I've been trying to work on. Yeah, but that's obviously very important, because that's how you're going to be finishing your kill a lot of the time. So something to practice. Maybe something to be aware of is like CC, like Rock, Sleep Dart, and Suzu. Just be aware of, Suzu isn't CC, but a way of countering it. Generally, it's better to try and force Suzu if you can. If it forces trance, it's fine. If it forces beat, it's fine. But Suzu is just not. It's just a cooldown. We would like to be able to deal with that without having to use our flux for it. Last thing I'll ask is positioning. Obviously, we talk about cover being important. If there was anything else for positioning, we talk a little bit about the range the hero plays at. What do you think?
Well, I actually think that close range is actually really good for him too. Because
versus who?
His squishies,
Yes, that's the key thing. You know how like Brig is like really, really good getting at close range at squishies, but it's terrible versus tanks up close?
Yeah.
Sigma's the same kind of thing, right? Like there's not very many tanks that you want to get close to. At least if you're not having a massive advantage. If that Reinhardt's half HP, the Sigma, the enemy, well, let's put it this way, the Roadhog doesn't have Vape, You know, the Diva has half of her matrix gone. Maybe you get close, but it's all about range whenever you can until you get them, whittle them down a little bit.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything else. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay.
I suppose maybe trying to apply all that to like a more abstract environment in
Yes.
the
Well,
actual game.
that's the tricky thing, and this is what. So what we've done is we've established like the parameters by which we want you to play. The question is are you going to play them by that way? But now at least we know what to look for. So like right now, immediately you could already see target priority. What are going to be the squishies that are going to be easiest and most important for you to pressure, even if you can't kill them?
Easily Ashe and Cassidy.
Ashe, Cassidy, Ana as well, right?
So
you've got burst damage from Ana and Cass, or Ashe and Cassidy you have to worry about. You've got cooldowns from Ana that you have to pressure. You need to control their positions. Do not let them play aggressively if you can. That's the most important thing that you could do. You pressure them by threatening kills on them. By threatening kill on them, you force them to back up. By forcing them to back up, you're protecting your team. That's the entire mentality right there. It's a lot like Winston in a way, but the way you do it is by ranged, mid-range pressure, not by actually jumping on top of them. Now, they have a very other interesting hero. Their tank line, right? Doomfist is... You have options for him, right? So what do you think?
Yeah, you might actually see this in the rest of the bot, but I do actually try to rock him a little bit because if he's just on my phase and in my team's phase, I mean, why not? Like,
sure. It's tricky though because if you think about it, you rocking a Doomfist is good, but what if you putting attention on this Doomfist allows the Ashe, Ana, and Cassidy to play more aggressively and get kills?
Yeah, they just play creative mode.
Right. So a lot of tank players, I think, not saying you, but a lot of tank players do get kind of focused on the tank matchup and what I need to do about the tank matchup, and not thinking about what focusing on the tank matchup allows the enemy DPS to do. Because if you think about the enemy comp, yes, you can mess up Doomfist's day, but you could mess up Ashe, Ana, Cassidy's day even more.
Right.
Even more. If this was like, let's say the Cassidy was a Tracer, Ashe was like a, I don't know, Reaper, something like that. Still something that you can shoot, but, or like, let's say Genji, right? But a little bit harder. Maybe more attention on the Doomfist is a little bit easier. It's better value, right? Like, let's say they had a Moira instead of an Ana, right? Those are heroes that, they're not exactly stationary targets that are easy to spam, so that you could put more attention on dealing with dive. So that's why Sigma struggles versus dive, right? He likes stationary targets that he can kind of control. But yeah. But like here, it's like this shield, respectfully, is poor.
Okay.
This shield, look at your HP, first off. And then look at your positioning.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally a wall that I'm looking at that I could be standing on.
Your shield is compensating for poor positioning, and even then you don't need it, right? There's no reason for you to be burning your shield here, because the idea is that like soon enough you might see an opportunity where somebody gets lower. Let's say the cart gets to about here, and you want to walk forward to here. You need shield and HP to do that, and the less that your Ana has to heal you, and the more she can damage people, the better it is for your team. Like even here, like that. Look at how much damage that we take. Look at our shield HP. This is sloppy.
Yeah.
And now this is like the moment of truth, right? You've got two members on your screen, a Doomfist and an Ana. Who do you pressure?
Ana,
right? You see how low she is?
Yeah.
Screw the Doomfist.
Yeah.
Now the Ana is not on your screen. So who do you pressure?
Doomfist.
Right? This is reasonable. Obviously you need to hit the rock, but you know. It's all right. Same thing here, right? We're shooting Doomfist, but in the back of our mind, we're thinking, okay, pretty soon, I think Cass, Ashe, one of those guys is going to show up on my left, right? So get him out. Okay, where are they at? Good. Drop the shield. No.
Here I panic. I swear I panicked. I don't know.
The shift is just, it doesn't do much versus that.
Yeah, and
the rock isn't good either. And then this is the really tricky part. So let's actually go back for just a split second. Because with Sigma, a lot of it is like, who do you shoot, right? So you look at this here, it's like, it's kind of tricky, right? What are you thinking?
I personally like Cassidy more because
I do too.
That flank is like really hard for my team to deal with right now.
Right. And that's it. So what you do is you pressure the Cassidy because he feels like a little bit more killable. But actually, the reason he's more killable is because he's in a more aggressive angle, right? So when he's in a more aggressive angle, it's more important for you as a tank to protect your team by shooting that target. So your protection is offensive pressure. He's out. You could have killed him, but you also protected your team while you were doing that. Now you turn your attention to the Ashe, because look at the Ashe's position in comparison to the rest of your team. Now, this is where we talked about like the Doomfist pressure. The worst thing that you could do right now is turn around and Doomfist.
Yeah.
The worst thing, because he'd probably get the kill anyway. He's got too much HP to be burst down, and then the Ashe would not be pressured, and she would actually probably be the one that kills the Widowmaker. Control the Ashe. There's the nade. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. Trust. Like you as long as your team is in this general vicinity, you hold the line. You know what I'm saying? You keep prevent the follow up from being there.
I might have been scouting for the Cassidy when I did that.
Got it. That's good. Yeah. That's good. Because obviously then if the Cassidy's hard flanking, we need to know that.
Yeah.
Nice. I know it sucks seeing that, but what can you do? You know?
Yeah, that's
you can't do anything about it. Nice. Probably okay to shift that. Again, though, don't look back at the Sigma, because the thing is this: whenever or the Doomfist, excuse me, whenever you turn your attention unnecessarily, look at the shield. It's garbage, right? You're not focused on killing. Let the Doomfist kill your backline. You kill his backline. That's unfortunately what you guys are both equally better equipped to do, right? So it's going to be about which one of you does it better. I think you can do it better. Like that Ana should be dead. I mean, look at her HP. She's so low. Aww.
Oh no, sloppy.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad. But obviously some things that we need to improve on. A little bit of target priority, a little bit of your cover usage, forcing bad shield management. Some shifts are a little panicky, messing up our rocks. This is great because it means that everything could use a little bit of work, but that nothing is really terrible, right?
Right.
Okay. A little bit of micro there. It's totally fine to rock the Doomfist. I don't think Power Punch is that strong, but if they ever do buff it, your rock does feed it.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get it because you didn't shoot before you rocked. You see that?
Yeah.
So the rock alone isn't enough to feed the punch. So if you ever see a Doomfist blocking, rock him, but only rock him if it's just there's no other damage coming in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Could have shielded that, but it would have taken a little bit of a reaction. Now,
yeah, I thought he was gonna escape with that ult, but
yeah, target priority here. Boy, this one's hard, isn't it?
This one's hard because like Ana is the easiest, but I think the Hanzo is like literally.
Well, look at your Genji, right?
Yeah, that's also true because he's going aggro and then so I could maybe help him.
I would probably focus the Ana here just to help my Genji. But if the Genji's not in here, Hanzo is by far more aggressive. Even if you're not going to kill this guy, but you do need to make sure that he doesn't get too aggressive. That he's got spam in front of him. I mean, your spam also moves people, right? It does a little boop of like bonk, you know, like people are getting smashed with rocks. Like it's annoying. It's frustrating to deal with. Oh.
Yeah, so low.
Good. Now, why on earth would you rock a Genji?
I mean, he's just like in my face.
He's
like,
trolling.
He's killable.
He's trolling.
Although I troll even harder here because I yellow as my Ana.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of trying to clear him out, considering like how aggressive his team is, but you just didn't consider your Ana's position. That's all.
No.
Okay.
Oh, here. This I think this is because the Doomfist is in my face here.
Ah! I can't rock. I mean, I like the idea there, getting rid of that Mercy. Good rock. Those are good. Those are good shots.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay, but maybe I should have been marking him earlier.
So maybe I think you're okay. Now this one you got to be aware of your HP, right? You don't have much HP to play with. So what should you do right now?
Shield.
Right. You're honest and spawn. It's okay, but shield. Don't wait for you to take damage here. There. Now she's out. Okay. Now we're getting healed. Okay, we're good. Like if you look at this here and you see nobody in the enemy team taking an aggressive position, you've done your job. Your Widow still dies, but there's nothing you could have done about that, right? So this is fine. Don't let shield be forced because of bad cover.
Right.
Just, here. Like, I get it. Like, it's like weird. It's like high ground, but you can't do anything with it. That's fine. Go to the floor. Just be here. Be here.
Okay.
Just a little bit further.
That makes sense.
Because that's going to, like, look at your HP, look at your shield. Like, your HP dropped to 250. You got your shift force, even though your shield was completely full.
I was expecting to do.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a troll. I'm trolling. A little.
Yeah, a little bit of trollage.
GM gameplay, by the way.
Just kind of out in the open, and then when you slam here, like, okay, so let's think about this, right? So what else can flux be used for? You know the answer I'm looking for, right? What could you do right now?
Escape.
Escape, right? You could slam and you could disengage behind the corner as once you confirm the mercy kill right here, float through the air to cover, right?
Yeah.
Or think offensively.
Oh, I could have landed on the Hanzo.
Oh yes, you could have.
And there's a mega too. I definitely beat the crap out of
There's your mobility, right? There's your mobility. You have limited value, but it's there. Something to consider. And then certainly if you're going to end here, don't end here, and cover here, right? I mean, it's just silly. Good try. And this is always the challenge, right? Do I go back and I try and peel off my team? Do I try and get a trade? You know, it's hard.
Yeah,
I think this is reasonable. I don't know that I would have dropped. One of the mercy plays of all time. Hanzo at the top, be very careful. Now, again, not saying this is bad, but you got to be thinking, what's the problem with looking at Genji right now?
I don't know where the Hanzo is.
Right. We're not aware of where the Hanzo is. Like, I see Ana, I see Hanzo. I'm not thinking about them. You're better at controlling those targets. Those targets are more lethal. Just something to consider.
Yeah. Alright, she got that off.
Okay. I mean, I respect what you're doing. You're thinking, like, I need to control this high ground angle. I need to control that Hanzo. I think this is fine. I guess for me, I would be more considering the fact that Hanzo's in spawn, right? So that there's no real reason. So for me, it's like, if you're gonna be here, dive the Ana.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're using the high ground but you're not really getting a lot out of it, then there's no real point being there. You're essentially controlling a position that nobody cared about.
Right.
Because Hanzo was in spawn. Okay, this is good. Nice rock. Needed to hit solidly, but I appreciate the intention. Now, this is disaster.
Yeah.
So, you know, the shield placement isn't very good, to be honest with you. It just kind of looks like you just threw it. What would be a better placement of your shield here?
I don't know if I would use it at all. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, see? Yeah, I don't even know. Like, there's nothing really here. So, and then Winston jumps you and you're like, oh crap, I need to back off. Well, where? How? When? To where?
Definitely not drop into the open.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So then what would you do instead?
Maybe I should have waited for the platform a little bit and
Sure.
go towards where my Ana is.
Even just walking outside of the bubble here, right? It feels a little rough, but you do have full resources. You're basically full HP. Probably worth a shot. It's really important that you're able to control this, because if you don't, it means you got to restart. Good focus on the Genji and not on the Winston, because that's the guy that's going to kill. Retake high. I would definitely retake high. Definitely retake high. Definitely retake, because the irony here is that you feel like I have to be doing something, right? I have to be doing something, but then What are you doing right now?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing. Still nothing.
Yeah.
Still nothing. Right. So just take the time to reposition a little bit. Even if it means that you don't do anything, because it means by now you would be in that high ground position. And remember who we're controlling now, right? Ana, Torb, those are our primary targets, right? That Ana is high ground. No way that that should be allowed. Nice. But you have no way to control the Ana, and that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Good attempt on the rock. Yeah, there's nothing you can do here. You're dead. So a lot of Sigma is like proactively controlling positions that either you want to hold or that you know that the enemy team will want to be, because you don't have the mobility to be there, to get there mid fight. You have to already be there to start with. So you need to be thinking, where are they going to be staging dives from? Where is that Ana going to be? Be there, right? Be there. Like this is atrocious, right?
Yeah.
This is atrocious. This is way too open spaced for a Winston to comfortably contest you. He can contest you briefly here, but honestly, Sigma still has the advantage. It's too open. It's too open for Winston. He has one shot to try and get rid of you, and if he doesn't, he dies. Like, I don't want you to be a spectator, which is what you are right now.
Right.
Oh,
So like, so like, say, yeah, it's like, again, the need of, you know, I need to do something, I need to do something, I need to do something, and I just flux.
Right, right.
So in that, let's say I'm high ground, Winston gets on my face. What do? I just step, like, it's like difficult for me to shoot anything because of
So just shoot what you can and press a button. And then when Winston bubble's done, you press another button. That's it.
Makes sense.
That's all he's got for you, right? That's all he's got.
Yeah.
If he doesn't kill you or your team during that bubble time, you know, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And this is too open space for that Winston to be able to do that comfortably. Winston's not bad on third point, but he's not as good as Sigma. But only a Sigma that actually takes the positions that you should be taking, essentially.
Right.
Now, the irony here is that you actually do use it to take high ground. So that's good. But then you drop off of the high ground almost immediately afterwards and allow the Winston to survive. I mean, look at this from this guy's perspective. Oh crap! Glad I can safely disengage on high ground, right?
Right.
This should be hot, right? This should be hot. Let your Reaper push guard if he wants to. Like this, your team would love to hold high ground, but really, you're making it very hard for your team to hold high ground because the most important person to control space, your tank, is never helping them with it, right? Yeah. I get it. Somebody has to push cart, but it doesn't have to be everybody.
Well, I actually wanted to punish the Torb there because he dropped. But I mean, he just overloads and makes it to high ground anyway. So
here it would be get to here. I'm trying to see what you're seeing here. Because I see the Torb, but to me it's like you're focused on Torb, but there's a Winston still right here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Clear the Winston, and then when you clear the Winston and the Torb is low, maybe then we can compromise our position. Because the problem is you better be darn well sure whenever you push something like that, because there is no one going back at that point in time. And the irony here is now, go ahead.
I feel like that's a tank struggle in general. Like if you need to choose like whoever's like, you know, the target to punish, and if you choose wrong, you just die.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. I mean, that's a really important skill, is like to prioritize the right stuff, because you can end up chasing something and it does absolutely jack all, right? Meanwhile, this Winston is still on your back line. Torbjorn is now on the high ground to where you were and gets a kill from that high ground. And now this fight feels like, okay, wow, we win it. Nice. But close, right? Way closer than it should have been. Way closer than it should have been. So what are you seeing so far as being potentially things that you need to be working at with your Sigma?
Feels like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it really does. It feels like cover usage. I actually want to look at a little more Sigma if you have the chance. Do you mind if I skip ahead here? I'd like to see just a few more team fights.
No, perfect, yeah.
Let's look at a little bit more, and then we'll reconvene. Okay, roll out high. Roll out high. Yeah, there you go. Now, first off, the rock is trolling. right?
Yeah.
You should know the bubble's coming up. But it's not just the rock, it's the attention as well. Who can you control right now?
Their DPS.
Their DPS. The on-a-nade that's coming in soon. The Sojourn building rail. The Torbjorn pressing overloaded walking forward. Even the Mercy pocket, right? I guarantee if I turn my camera to the right, yep, there it is, right? So much more value, return on investment for your attention here. Now, if this was like, I don't know, a Diva that you could just immediately rock off the high ground, it's probably worth giving a quick look. But even then, it would be doing the two things at once that we talked about in the review, right? Shield, rock, right? Or like if it was like a Doomfist, same kind of thing, right? Something to consider. Yeah. You're kind of doing it there. Just Mercy's trolling, man.
A little bit of, yeah.
Well, like right now, okay, you force the on out. Who should your attention be on right now?
Torb, or try to look for someone.
Torb or Sojourn are somewhere around here. I just know it, right? Find them, control them. The on is not a threat anymore. And she's also not killable. Now the on is going aggressive. Force her out again. Okay, ignore her. Go back to the Torb. Okay, where's the Torb? Where's the Torb? Where's that Winston, actually? Where's that Winston? Maybe I could shoot that Winston now. Because it's like now there's like nothing going aggressively here. And then now here, you have to make a decision, like obviously before you got slept. Do I want to drop and chase one of these targets? Because nobody's using the high ground anymore.
Yeah, that's probably what,
Right. So the irony here is that before you were completely disregarding high ground on the third point attack, but now there's nobody even here, nobody to shoot, nobody. The fight is migrated elsewhere, and you seem hesitant to leave. And now would be the time to leave, right? To secure the fight win. You've done your job. You've kept the on out of the fight. You've made control Torb well. Right. This makes sense. You don't want to be here for long.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is he's just a little too aggressive, because you don't need to get the kill here. You just need to make sure that they don't get the kill there, right? So you just go in a little too hard. And also, I would say maybe a little late now that the Torb is rezzed. You know, it's a little bit unfortunate timing. This Mercy is just crazy, but yeah. It's tricky. It's like the razor blade, you know? Just a small decision. Also, don't roll out here. Well, here. Right? Just a little bit faster. Oh, you're cooked.
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it was reasonable to do what you did, I think. As long as he doesn't have jump, I don't think.
Yeah, he didn't.
Okay. I actually think this is all right. It's an ult for an ult, and you actually put the pressure on him as well. It's not just a nano for a Sigma ult. It also, you guys have an advantage, because that guy's going to be really low. This Mercy is just crazy.
He's
just ignore her, especially with like the new Mercy passive today, right? In Valk, she's not gonna die because she's gonna keep the passive too. That's just lazy.
Yeah,
that rock was not pleasant. Stop shooting the Mercy. Stop shooting the Mercy. That's where it's like, it's hard for me to say that, and I know people are gonna be like, "What? Don't shoot the Mercy, of course." Yeah, but return on investment, right? Return on investment. Like how you're just not likely to be able to pressure that Mercy enough for it to actually matter where she was positioned.
Yeah. I was supposed like, I shouldn't need to land those.
Yes. There it is. Yep. Oh, this Mercy is just getting away with murder! No. This is good, though. Just good. You see, you're doing a good, like, as messy as this has been, you've done a good job controlling. Now go high ground. Quick. Yes. Good. Nice. Forced bubble early as well. Really good value right now.
I'll try to get.
Don't drop. Actually, yes, drop. I thought you were gonna drop in the monkey. Yes, drop to these guys. Honestly, maybe you don't even need to drop. Honestly.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe you don't even need to drop. Maybe you could just get some nasty cleave. I mean, if you're gonna drop, this is not bad, but I would prefer you to M1. Oh my goodness, the value. Oh, it's just so much spam. Keep going. Every shot lands. No. She dies. But you just see the squishies value, you know? It's like, it's so much. It just feels like you can control 4 people at the same time. Calm down. Nice. Nice. Okay, good. So what are you seeing with your Sigma? We talked about almost everything, essentially, with your gameplay. So you're kind of mediocre at everything. Why do you think that is?
I feel like whenever I play Sigma, I don't actually think much about what I'm doing.
Yeah. How many hours do you have in Sigma compared to your other things?
I actually have, so I have like 200 on Diva, 100 on Winston, and then like 80 on Sigma.
Right. So he's a little bit behind the curve, so it feels like you just kind of play.
Yeah.
It feels like you're kind of mediocre in everything, and you're carried by the fact that you're just a good tank player, but you're not really a good Sigma player.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So the good news is, of course, that with a little bit of time, a little bit of focus, anything and everything can improve. So let's just try and prioritize despite having a little bit of everything to think about. What are your priorities with Sigma?
I mean, there it was very highlighted that I needed to control space a little bit more proactively.
Space.
Try to take high grounds a little bit more.
Grounds.
I feel like that will be the most important one, maybe.
Even the target priority as a result of that as well, making sure that you're going for the right targets, right? Avoiding like the Winston bubbles, right? Okay, what else?
Cooldown usage. I mean, you mentioned shield. I would put position and cooldown usage sort of in the same boat though, because that, you know.
Yeah.
Because,
I saw them all together.
Yeah, because my position force like bad cooldown usage.
Yes. Yes. Agreed. Okay. Anything else? Maybe one more in there.
One more in there. I mean, general sloppiness in the gameplay, like mechanically and micro related.
I think more with rocks than anything else. Just like making sure that you're really focused on your accretion.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I felt like you were really focused and you're hitting some good rocks, and sometimes it felt like you just kind of like press the cooldown, you know, instead of like really putting emphasis on landing them. Okay. Any questions?
Not really.
Okay. You want to move on to the next hero? What one do you want to go next?
Can we do the Colosseo?
Let's do it.
Just for the. Although I gotta say, I watched that game back, and yeah, it was really sloppy in a lot of ways. So.
Don't forget as well, like if you're still, if we don't end up having time for the tracer, you still have replay code review as well. Remember you sent in the replay code to get a few timestamps reviewed whenever?
Oh.
Remember that?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot.
And you have, and I guess technically you have two, so you have like 6-7 timestamps that you can get looked at. So.
Oh yeah, I would appreciate that actually.
Yeah, of course. So I'm gonna be honest with you. This is gonna be miserable right here.
Yeah.
You just have to understand. Now, does that mean that this matchup is bad? Not necessarily. Does this mean that this map is bad? Not necessarily. Just this part of the map is bad.
Yeah.
The Rhine, Sigma, Ramatra, anything that's just one direction, no mobility needed, they're gonna beat you. So you can basically just play it really slow, let them make a mistake, look for opportunities to go aggressive, and then obviously if that happens to Toe Licker 42, then you know you just you call it and you go next. Definitely. I mean, honestly, I don't know if that was even the play, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
At least not playing for the kill there, you know, because like we're getting a pretty brutal stagger.
This is silly.
Wait. Yeah. Oh, surely we don't. No way.
Oh, here
Survive!
Yeah, I should have just.
It's like there's okay, to give you some credit, there was a lot of like really borderline situations. Like that cast is overextending, that Ryan is overextending. I can maybe get this kill, so it's a little bit unlucky, but please shoot. Find Ryan first, honestly. And the fattest target that you can shoot. But obviously, as the map opens up, we'll have more opportunities. I wouldn't be here. I think this is pretty easy for them to kill you from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the worst part in the world is that you were Baby Diva that long and you still didn't get your remake and then died. That's like the worst case scenario. Priority targets for Diva in this matchup.
Kaz, Ashe, and Zen.
Is your positioning conducive towards finding and getting those targets at some point in this fight?
No.
What position is?
I don't even know. I think eventually I go to the high ground where my Genji is.
Yep. And the other thing too is if you can also assist your Genji from this position too, right?
Yeah.
You're probably thinking, I want to help my Ana here, but honestly, if the Ryan decides to kill your Ana and your Ana feeds, you're not likely going to be able to help that much.
Yeah.
A little bit, but not much. So play for yourself. Play to your strengths. That's how you help your team. This position is not it.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Oh,
like, I respect your cover usage here. Like, you're definitely like trying to not take damage, but like, it's not going to work. Honestly, you need them to push card.
Yeah.
You know, if anything, you need them to push robot to here to where like that either that Ryan's isolated or you have a better off angle to go for their Zenyatta or Cassidy and so on. But the thing is you're on just landed a fat anti-nade and you are not in any position to follow up at all. You're taking too much damage. You're too far away. You're not coming from an angle and so on. I would not even be peeking here until I can get healed back up. I'd be sitting and listening and hiding and being like, okay, Cassidy's here. I'm gonna wait for this robot to get here. I'm gonna listen for a cooldown maybe, and then I'm gonna go, right? Heck, you could even like right now, like let's say you were full HP, full matrix, which I think you're not full matrix. Okay, you could drop here and shoot Reinhardt. Because you know what you're thinking as a squishy, right?
Yeah.
Crap.
It's like
here she comes, right? And so that Reinhardt is like scared. So you could either turn and help your Genji kill these guys or pressure these guys, or the Reinhardt is going to pin back, right? And then what are you going to do?
I think here I drop and.
Well, what would you do in that instance?
Oh, what would I do? I mean, I would probably go like I would do what you're doing, but like actually try to like peek their DPS a little bit, maybe.
Sure. So let's say the Reinhardt freaks and runs backwards. What do you need to even get the kill anymore?
No, I just leave.
You fly right back. Go on, push robot. I dare you. Try it again. Go ahead, try it again. So then either the backline walks forward more aggressively to help, or Reinhardt goes back to card, and then you do it again. But every single time you do that, there's a really high chance that one of the supports dies. See, this isn't executed very well, but this is still the right idea. And it's not an accident that you feel unimpactful, but stuff is dying off screen. You see this?
Yeah.
You're like, what's happening? Well, it's because you're not really doing much yourself, and you're not honestly playing it particularly well. But you at least have the right idea. You're causing chaos. You're causing a split. You're causing diversions. You're making them confused and frustrated. The only thing here is just about playing cover better, being more decisive, and obviously not getting slapped. Seems reasonable, right? On squishies with bomb. It's good. Fine with me. You know, again, it's like, what's happening while you're doing this? Like, let's look at this from your Genji's perspective. Not discorded, not slept, not native. Supports are not even, they're not even there. The supports aren't even there, right? Seems okay. Ryan overextends. My point here is that there's things that we could be doing a little bit better. We'll talk a little bit about. I think a little bit of your discipline and decisiveness about whether you're in and whether you're out. But I do like what you're doing right now. This is good. Get him. Yeah. No. No. Okay, just like, please. I'd go back up top. Make sure your soldier's alive. Get out of dodge, right?
Yeah.
Get out of here. You know this Ryan drops where they're weak. You know this. This guy should be cooked.
Yeah. You're totally right. Yeah, I don't know when.
Don't give him value. You're giving him value. You're giving him shield value. You're giving him shatter value. You're giving them nano value. Screw off. Let this guy screw around. Like, let him play Ring Around the Rosie with your Ana, you know? This is the fight here. Like look at what just happened here, right? So you've improved at this, I think, for sure. But I think there was a little red flag that went off in my brain when you said I have struggled with the Reinhardt mirror. He just goes to my backline, and I'm like, I can tell that you're probably putting too much focus on Reinhardt. You shouldn't even be concerned about him. Let him do his thing. You do your thing, he does yours. It's very similar to the Sigma and Doomfist thing, right? Okay. You lost that fight because you didn't push that casting. You let that casting kill the soldier. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Again, positioning, right? Where should you be? Yes. Took too much damage to get there, but yes.
Yeah.
Good. Why does that Ana die?
Because they turn around for me.
Yep, you see it?
No.
She was looking at you. Stop shooting Ryan, though. You're at a full enough HP. Oh, I see Cass. Reasonable. Play your matchups, you know what I'm saying? Like, play your matchups. Yeah. You do not have a great matchup versus Reinhardt. If this was a Winston, maybe a slightly more complicated story. Right?
Yeah.
Even a Doomfist, slightly more complicated story. You were saying something.
Well, I'm just recalling like something that I recall from one of my sessions with John, for example, where like he would tell me that you don't necessarily ignore Reinhardt. You do want to burn his resources, but I think this comes from a misinterpretation from my part, where like, you know, now I like try to overcompensate by shooting him too much.
Right,
like I'm like, oh, right. I'm burning his shield. Oh, he has no resources. But meanwhile, things are happening, and I am not contributing.
Right. It's burning Ryan when he is like in a position to, when you can avoid the rest of his team and negate the rest of his team, and then shoot him at a little bit of range, right? Yeah. Your problem is like what was happening here is obviously there was a lot of stuff happening on top, and you were deciding that Reinhardt's my most important thing right now because he's going to C9 cart. Right? Who cares? Kill the Cassidy, and then when you see that there's nobody else live, then you can worry about it. I mean, you saw the same thing with Sigma, right? Like, if Reinhardt's feeding into your backline and their backline's in Narnia, maybe, but their backline was pushing aggressively, and yet you still have chose Reinhardt. Even here. You're not going to win this HP trade. If you were to shoot Reinhardt here, how would you position?
There in the stairs.
Right. Either you kill backline or you avoid backline. There is no in between. So even this isn't bad, right? As long as they can't see. This is good, right? Very good, right? Why? Reinhardt was doing things, right? But this is more important. Yeah. This is more important. And you also have bomb for it, so you can go for it. I mean, this was great. You even played the micro of that very well. Well done. Stop. There you go. Yeah. And now it's even more important because you see your Genji in too.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Good. I mean, really, truly, you should be proud of this fight. I have no idea what happened on backline, but you just basically solo forced rally with Diva bomb.
It is true.
I don't know.
Oh, wait, how did he die? Oh, that's bold.
I mean, he's just trolling, right? Yeah. But you did your job. You did your job. You can look at this objectively and be like, yeah, that was good. I'll probably go die in robot here if you haven't, or get out. Yeah, you should be able to get out. I see everybody coming on and offline, and I'm like, come on, hang in there. I think we're good. Though. Fine to shoot Reinhardt there. Nothing else to shoot, right? You tried. No!
Oh, no. Oh, I remember this. I don't know what happened in my brain where like, oh, yeah, I can kill that Cassidy.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a stupid mistake.
Yeah. I should be on the Ashe.
Well, now you can't, right? You need to wait. This is smart, right? Free resources, right? Now we go. A little bit indecisive there. You see it?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Go ahead. I think I should just commit harder, even if it ends up being like not the play.
Well, okay, it's how you commit as well. Like, I think the way you should always be trying to commit with Diva here would be like, if I don't know the status of her cooldowns, I might fly in at her, but fly through her and duck behind this corner here.
Right, because what I was fearing was the Reinhardt pin.
Yes.
If I diver.
Yes.
But yeah, like your solution is way better, where like I still do that, And I don't get pinned. Instead, I like take my time and I don't do either.
Right. Whether it's sleep dart, whether it's nade, whatever. Whenever you're diving somebody as Diva, you don't have Winston bubble really. And even Winston's would be thinking about this. You need to kind of think about the longevity of my dive. Like if I go in now on squishies, am I going to die? If so, then I need to think about how I was positioning that dive. You know what I'm saying? Like how I'm setting up this dive. Like even that booster's there. Like maybe my mentality here is I see Ana, I fly up and over this Reinhardt, and I just kind of land here. Now that takes a little bit of micro, a little bit of experience, but like your whole mentality is like the threat of the kill, but never going so hard for the kill that you die for it, unless you have something like Diva, right? Even here, this is just I want to shoot Ryan because you know dopamine, but you know Ana would have been better. Okay, nasty sightline land. Now you almost have bomb here, so tough sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why would you focus Reinhardt here?
Well, I think that Shatter was bold because nobody could follow up on his team. He had to push outside of his team's help.
Right. So you've got two options here. You either punish this Reinhardt, or you turn into the supports. I think punishing Reinhardt here is fine, but even though this is probably the correct play, you could still see you're going to get DMAC for potentially. Yeah. You see that? Lack of backline attention with Diva is dangerous. I'm not saying that was the wrong play. I think it was probably fine. But even the right play still feels bad when you're not focusing backline.
Right. So what do you think would have been better then?
You tell me. So the idea was good. Was the execution... Could the execution have been better? I mean, I see a red flag right now with what's going on, right?
No Matrix in the open.
No Matrix. You're down almost 200 armor and you're standing out in the open.
Yeah.
To contest a cart, you know, could we have contested the cart from, you know, or been here even, or been here, or maybe not even, maybe we can't even be here at all. Maybe we're here and we shoot and we fly around and we look for an angle here, something like that, right? I don't know, but this is, you have to at least play close to cover, right? Because you only just barely get demapped. You know what I'm saying? Maybe booster away instead of in as well. Because I know you're thinking about, like, I'm probably demacked as well, but yeah. Okay. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Chaos. Disaster. Probably would have shot the squishy there instead of the tank. Okay.
Oh, Winston? I don't remember this.
Yeah. Well, we're just full of surprises today. So, what are you seeing with your Diva?
Not feeling as good as I thought anymore. I mean, again, like I feel like every aspect has been like really not great.
Well, let's not be so doomer, right? You're put on a really difficult circumstance in terms of playing a lot of fights in that main choke on Coliseum, where it's very difficult to utilize high grounds and off angles and set up your own position. And let's also appreciate the fact that there were a lot of really, really great fights from you. Remember the high noon one?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of times where even when, I think it was this fight around here, where, well, that's not the right button. Okay, so where it was like, I want to say it was this one. You know, like here, wasn't executed particularly well, but you're still the reason that your team won this fight. You know? Wasn't executed well, but you're still, and then even this one as well. Be very careful about much resource, very much careful about resource. But see all this, right? Not executed very well, but the right job, right? So, what about your Diva needs to continue to improve?
I mean, I could give you the list, but I'm not sure if that's like.
Well, let's start with that.
See, it's like I'm not sure because like I'm watching that. I'm trying to think of like maybe I should focus on like what went well in like that high noon play, and maybe try to like ponder a little bit towards that.
Yeah. Sure.
But I'm not entirely sure though.
I'm thinking a little bit of Sigma, controlling space, proactively, high grounds, enemy DPS / supports whenever you can. If you're not pressuring backline, don't take damage. Right?
Right.
I mean, these things we talked about a little bit. I feel like you did a much better job with your tunnel visioning compared to last time on Ilios.
Right.
I think you were much more aware of what was going on around you. I just think that sometimes you chose to focus on the Reinhardt despite that too much. Or you did not consider, like you were not preserving your HP enough.
Right.
I think that was much better. Right? I mean, you've definitely improved, right? It's not a shocker.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What
So
else?
I suppose this is the next step, the next things that I should focus on.
Right. Think about preserving your cooldowns, maybe your HP and your resources. Cooldowns and HP prior to taking action, just so that you're in a better position to kind of survive that action without dying for it.
Right.
What do you think?
No, I think this is great. I mean, the good thing is that the first one can be applied to either tank, really.
I mean, it's a consistent theme with you, right? Like, you have a lot of right ideas. You're inconsistent at applying them with focusing the right targets, right? And then with both Sigma and Diva, you get too many of your resources forced from just having bad cover usage.
Right.
I agree with you. I think both of those actually apply 100% one to the other. So it's a consistent theme with you and something that you can practice with both heroes. Make sense?
So in general, like more cover usage.
Sure. Yeah, more on and off.
Okay.
A little bit of that decisiveness with Diva. It felt like your lack of decisiveness with being off meant that you were hesitant to be on. Because you were losing too much that would allow you to be on more, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like uptime stuff too. It's like
cyclical stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I need to be doing something. I need to be doing something. And on Diva, that sometimes means that I'm peeking a very long sideline, and it's like, why? I don't even deal damage at this distance.
Sure, exactly. And even when you were focusing Reinhardt, micro adjustments with your positioning to be doing something while he and his team are doing nothing. But you were giving his backline something to shoot when you didn't need to.
Yeah.
Remember the staircase thing? You did it once really well, walking out of spawn. But just something to consider. Do you have any questions?
I mean, I think I do have many, but they're not like questions. They're more like I'm not entirely sure how to apply all these concepts. Like I'm not sure how it's gonna go.
Okay. Well, pick one of them at a time and be actionable with it. I'm just going to be more cover use aware as Diva and Sigma.
Right.
Just that. Just start with just that. And then when it comes to target priority, go into each game and every single team fight, be like, I'm going to try and think about who's the target that I should be focusing. Who's the target should I be focusing? Who's the target should I be focusing? That's it. Because to me, the control space proactively is like a really, really complicated way of just answering that question.
Yeah.
Who do I focus? And then what's the best position for me to focus them with, right? We were answering that question from the get-go. Ana, Ashe, Cassidy. Remember that?
Yeah.
Very similar in the last ones. Zenyatta, Ana, and so on. So it's like, just think about that. Think about the positions that will allow you to pressure them without taking damage. And then, okay, that's it. Consider your matchups. A lot of tanking comes down to playing matchups, but too many people focus on the tank matchup rather than on the support and DPS matchup, I think.
Right.
If you have any questions, though, you know the routine. My DMs are always open, and use that replay code rule as well. You didn't use that for the last one, so you've got double the questions or double the timestamps or whatever. And we could also, heck, you could even send over a little bit of Diva in a few weeks, and you could send over a little bit of Tracer too, right? Because you said you're playing a little bit of Tracer now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm having an easier time on Tracer than I would have thought because I do a lot of tracking on Diva. So
and you have a lot of game fundamentals as well. Every new hero usually is easier in Overwatch. Because you have more fundamentals to apply. Usually, actually, it's like the first hero that you pick up sometimes is the hardest to like master. I've learned, at least. Maybe that was just me, maybe. But yeah. Okay. No questions?
No, I think I'm good. Thanks,
Okay,
man.
keep in touch. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Like I said, use that replay code rule. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with your practice, mate. All right.
Thank you. I
You are
appreciate it,
very
man.
welcome. I will get this
All right.
recording probably uploaded later today, but I'll let you know.